The goal of this platform is to ensure that encouragement is normalized to the Michaelinian community.
So for my personal platform, Athletinian. This platform keeps athletes updated on schedules and announcements, prevents misinformation, and shares achievements. It also unites students, promotes teamwork, and makes joining and participating sports much easier.
Senior High School Supplies Hub is a student-led project designed to support senior high school students by collecting extra or gently used school supplies and distributing them to those in need. Michaelinians can donate their supplies at designated collection points, making it easy to give and help at the same time. Students who need assistance may request items through an online form to ensure fair and organized distribution. My dear Michaelinians, through this initiative, Michaelinians not only donate but also benefit by promoting unity, generosity, and a stronger school community.
Next is the Zero Balance Policy Monthly Accountability and Penalty Monitoring Initiative. The Zero Balance Policy is a structured monitoring system where class presidents submit monthly reports of classroom penalties and violations. Its purpose is to ensure transparency, proper documentation, and financial accountability within the students of each class. Students with unpaid penalties will not be granted their ESG clearance until their obligations are settled. This platform promotes discipline, accountability, fairness, and integrity while creating a more organized system within the school community.
For my personal platform, I have the Stampede. The Stampede is a student recognition and celebration platform that ensures every Michaelinian's voice, effort, and achievement is seen, heard, and valued. As your aspiring PIO, my role is to amplify stories that deserve the spotlight. And Stampede does exactly that by featuring accomplishments, announcing victories, and honoring the hard work behind every success. Alongside with it is the groundwork, where recognition begins even before the win. While students are preparing and competing, we provide support, assistance, and the help we can offer so they never feel alone in their journey. Stampede celebrates the victory. Groundwork strengthens the journey. So students can focus on doing their best while we stand firm beside them as God does the rest.
So this platform is created so that the students can report through a dedicated hotline. So to dili ni siya like report and forget system. All concerns are taken seriously and acted upon with accountability and care. We empower students to speak up, build trust within the community, and promote a culture where safety is everyone's responsibility.
And for my personal platform, the Student Public Heart.
For my platform, we have the Student Pulse. Through Student Pulse, students are given a safe and anonymous way to express hidden feelings, quiet admirations, sincere compliments, and heartfelt messages they might not usually say out loud. Choosing the submissions are shared on campus speakers or posted publicly to inspire kindness, spark genuine connections, and create a more open and positive school environment.
And for my personal platform, Handog Pasko, a Christmas donation drive. It's a donation drive that we, Future ESG, will collect some gently used toys and others to the students, teachers, and volunteers, and we will pick a privileged barangay here in Asipit to donate our donations.
Thank you very much for that sure party.
We now proceed to the heart of today's event, the debate proper. This is where our candidates will present their stand, defend their platforms, and answer questions that matter to the student body.
So may we remind everyone to please listen with an open mind, respect each speaker, and appreciate the diversity of ideas being shared today. Let the debate proper begin now. So we would like to introduce the first part of this debate. It is presidential platform interrogation, where each of the three panelists may ask 2 questions to the running president of each party. Questions must be based on the presented platforms, and their answer time will be 45 seconds. Also, 1 follow-up question per main question is allowed, but it will be determined by a coin toss in which party will be able to answer first. It is determined by tossing a coin. So we would like to ask if heads ba mo or tails? Heads mo. So if daog ang heads, kamo ang mo start. Inga na amo Dili na mo i-opposite para wala libog. Okay? So heads mo. Okay. Unlad party will be heads and tails. Okay, okay, tails. So we will request Wala ba tayong hype dyan? Kaya mag-toss at tawag coin. Who do you think ang una makatubag sa atong question sa panel? Is it Unlad Party? Or is it Sure Party? We will see. Ipakita sa ila unsa ang nakuan. Is it heads or is it tails? Tails, ipakita sa ila. Tails? Isalo. Sige, go. Salog na lang. Tamaki inig kuan. Tamaki rin Yushi. Tails. Tails, Jod. Gusto niyo siya tails. Okay, so the Sure Party will be able to answer the first question first.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our aspiring officers. First, we would like to commend the OSAS, the ESGSHS, and the SHS COMELEC for initiating this kind of activity. Especially appreciation as well to our officers who have the courage to be here today for the Tapatan 2025. So thank you so much, officers. What we expect for this Tapatan is, of course, number 1 is, first, you need to have an effective communication, because I believe that communication is one of the greatest asset or qualities of being a leader. So hopefully you can be able to give clear and specific answers to our questions. So good luck, and without any further ado, let's start the question. My requests, okay, the first one, we have the Sure Party list or Sure Party president. My request the president to be here in front, in the center. Okay. This is my question. Regarding your platform, the Stampede, which aims to recognize students' achievements in various competitions, the school and the senior high school department already publicly acknowledge accomplishments through social media postings, flag ceremonies, and graduation recognitions. Do you think that these are not enough? And how does your proposed program differ from these existing recognition systems? What unique features or added impact would make it distinct and beneficial to the student body? Again, my question. You have your platform, the Stampede, which aims to recognize students' achievements, like sa DSPC, sa athlete, no? But the school and the senior high school department have already publicly acknowledged accomplishments through official social media postings, flag ceremonies, and graduation recognitions. So do you think that these are not enough? And if not, how does your proposed program differ from these existing recognition systems? What unique features or added impact would make it distinct and beneficial to the student body?
Okay. Thank you for the question po, sir. And I believe that the announcements of the school, like i-announce nila ang nahitabo na kintahay na naka third place, i-announce sila sa pag-flag ceremony. But our platform, the Stampede, is also collaborated with the platform, the Groundwork. And the groundwork that does not only promote students' achievements after the competition but before the competition. So ano man gid sir? Sa ako man gid sir, kintahay sir. Alam ko statistics sir, labi gid ako na mapildi man gid ko sir. Pero since kung na ang groundwork sir, makano ko sir na gihatangan ko recognition na ni compete ko. Kay kung sa announcements na to, makaroon naman, i-announce naman kung na-placing, naka-third, second, or first. But the groundwork recognizes us before. And also the Stampede also recognizes not only our achievements, but our participation. Which I think will boost the morale of the students to not only participate this year, but to participate in multiple years in the future. Which is why I believe
Time.
ito.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. If I got it correct, you mean like before the competition, you are going to have the recognition of these participants through posting and recognizing them during the flag ceremonies. So it's not just about after, but before. Am I correct? Okay, thank you,
Yes, sir.
Mr. President. That would be all.
Thank you very much for that. Next up, to answer a question from our panel would be from the UNDAD.
Ako pa hapon. So, proceed ta sa next party lists. Before ang next panel. Okay. For UNLAD party lists, one of your highlighted platforms is the MyCo program, My Kilinian Community Online Hub, which aims to make printing services more efficient and organized. However, a similar printing initiative already exists under the current administration. Can you clearly explain how your proposed micro program differs from or improves upon the existing system? Additionally, considering the limitations in office space and equipment of the ASG office, particularly the limited number of printers, and the fact that there are approximately 300 to 400 students of senior high school department who may avail of the service, how do you plan to efficiently manage both printing and on-site encoding without causing long waiting time? Lastly, given that your office currently does not have a dedicated computer unit, the PC, di ba wala pa yung PC? As of now. Yes. What concrete steps will you take to secure the necessary resources to successfully implement this program? So in short, nanatay program karon, nanatay existing program sa ASG, the printing. But then again, in your innovation, it's printing and encoding. But my question is, how are you going to realize it, given that you have limited resources and space? And lastly, we have 300 to 400 students in the senior high school department.
First, to answer that question, sir, pag-start sa school year po, na may mga income-generating na mga platforms such as Seniors Trade. Tas gusto po na mo ipadayon ang katong buhat na ni Rosmel, which is katong nami pins, na ami shirt si Baligya. With that funds na among malikom, ana, pwede na namo igamit, kay naman may 3 printers actually sa ESG office. However, ang duha ka printers na ay mga errors. With those funds, pwede na namo i-use para among mga printers para daghan mi mga print simultaneously. Tapos, para pod ma-ensure na mo nga dili siya time-consuming among pag-print, among iingon sa mga students nga, if ever gusto mo magpa-print, i-send lang sa amo ang ESG page instead of going na sa office task. Hala, pwede magpa-print po. Pag-ask na mo yun, kay para by lunchtime or sa recess, kay mag-assign man mi ESG officers ana in the future, pwede na namo sila ipangingon nga, i-contact na mo sa ESG page nga, huy, ang imuhang gipa-print, ready na, pwede na nimo siya ikuha. So, mao to, sir. Tapos,
about sa encoding po na mo na process, mo accept from yung mga students
Time's
na
up.
pa-encode
Time's up.
if the night before na nila kwaon, sir. para
Okay, I
na
got
adjust
it.
may
I
enough
got it. I got it, Miss President. Thank you so much for your answer. Because as per observation, this has become quite a problem, especially in the office. Kasi according to your program, encoding. Dito ko na because you have the encoding and it would really take time. You have mentioned it in your program, encoding. And as per observation, a lot of students are actually doing encoding in the office. So hopefully, you can be able to address this issue if given the chance that you will win the election.
Yes, sir. Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. And to the running president of Sure Party, Neil Justin Batukan. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. So here in your vision, you focus on uplifting and empowering Michaelinians by nurturing a Christ-centered community where everyone or every student feels seen, valued, and inspired to grow academically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, as president, how will you balance academic, social, and spiritual or student welfare priorities in your overall leadership direction? Again, how will you balance academic, social, and spiritual or student welfare priorities in your overall leadership direction?
First off, I would like to say that this is not like advertisement, but I am using Notion to balance my life, academics, and social life by implementing myself like nakoy scheduling sa akong akong buhaton sa kanang adlaw. Kanina buhat akong kanang adlaw. Kanina din na adlaw kay pawis ako kaya naman estudyante man ko kanang bata pa ko gusto ko magduwa. So I can balance myself kay nako experience sa kaning app na gamit nako na Notion that gives me that I schedule myself my academics, my social life, and my day-to-day life like in my kaya na sa ako ampod since ako man nam ko sa balay after kay namo ko yung mga tindahan mano ko mutabang pa ko kan mama. So gi-schedule gina ko talong gid or maka-focus ko or maka-honor ko, ko tabang ko sindahan, ko
10
sa
seconds left.
And this is why I believe that is how I can manage my time to better help the students.
Okay, thank you, Neil Justin. Okay. Okay, follow-up question. Since you mentioned that you will manage your time to balance your personal life and also becoming a leader, now as a leader, how will you make it like the same with other students to balance also their academic, social, and spiritual aspect of them as a student, since this is your vision in your party. So not just in your, not just with the leaders, but also with the students. Since mo man inyong vision now, how will you do that as a president?
Can you please repeat the question?
Again, as a leader or a president, how will you help the students to also manage their social, spiritual, and student welfare and academic aspect as well?
Well, once again, I am not endorsing this app, but I would like to recommend the students to use Notion to schedule themselves, to better schedule themselves using that, because Notion is a diverse platform where you can schedule yourself, schedule your academics, schedule your day-to-day life, and schedule your spiritual life. So I will recommend Notion to the students, but not also recommend it, but also help students in understanding notion, understanding how to better orient their time, how to better diversify their time. Like that time, I would in summary, I would teach them my my system, my day-to-day system on how to manage my time. That is how I would like to
10
help
seconds left.
my fellow students and fellow Macellanians in managing their time, academics, and other aspects.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Batukan. Okay, good afternoon, Ayla.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So one of your platforms is the Mycelinean Echo, right? So now, how will you ensure that all student concerned are properly consolidated and addressed through your main leadership platform? Again, how will you ensure that all student concerns are properly consolidated and addressed through your main leadership platform?
Sa among platform na called the My Clean and Echo po, it's open to everyone. Actually, ma'am, naami plano ka ha na mag-print mi o ka ng QR code bitaw ma'am para dali ra nila nila iscan tas makasubmit na sila mga concerns ito. And to answer that question po, naami platform called the One Voice Initiative. Ato na initiative po, ang mga concerns sa mga students, ang ilahang mga suggestions, iisa na mo ito one clear agenda. Bale, sa One Voice Initiative, appeal na dito ang Freedom Walk, the Mycelinean Echo, ang classroom presidents na mga meeting, para maisa na gyud mo pa para kay bawo mi kanuon sa i-prioritize na mo na concern, unon saan po na mo na siya pag-address effectively without having to create more time-consuming na mga efforts po.
Okay, thank you, Ayla. Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
no more follow-up questions.
Okay, good afternoon, Neil.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
My question for you is somewhat a summary of all your platforms. So your vision emphasizes that every student feels seen, valued, and inspired. However, you have 13 different platforms. These are across individual and party initiatives. So how will you prioritize which program to implement first, or programs maybe? And what specific timeline will you follow to ensure all are realized within your one-year term? Again, how will you prioritize which programs to implement first, since you have 13 different platforms? And what specific timeline will you follow to ensure all are realized within your one-year term?
Okay. So I would like to begin with our our 1 month platforms, which is the Handog Festival and the Hearts Day Initiative, which are platforms. The Handog Festival, the Handog thing is on the Christmas Day, which is in December. The Hearts Day is on Valentine's, which is February. And next up, that is 2 down, which leaves 11 platforms left. So the next platform we will first prioritize is the MyKilling platform, as the MyKilling platform will begin at the first day with a club expo by endorsing the clubs to join to get more members and others, and that would leave 10 more platforms, and mostly the other platforms. My platforms, which is pick up where you left, is only applicable in. Sorry.
Just to follow up, since you mentioned you will have Handog and Valentine's special. So if you'll do that, that's December and February. So what would be the very first, maybe 2 to 3 platforms that you'll have, and the follow-up would be, the additional information is how will you have the budget for that? You're starting, example, June. So what would be your priority June, July, August, let's say?
Our our first priority will be the Secure Line platform, which aims to not dissolve but help people in bullying. And this platform does not really need a lot of kanang money to happen, because we will use Facebook, we will use a communication tool, we will use online communication to help the students. The next platform we would prioritize would be the Salt Talks, Light Walks, which is also a podcast and also does not need a lot of money to start, which is why we will begin with those platforms, as they do not need a lot of money to begin with. And
Thank you. Let's have the UNLAD party president. Let's focus on your vision, which speaks of inclusive and progressive leadership as well as equal opportunities. But looking at your 10 platforms, mostly they are focused on facilities and services. Where is your specific plan for students who feel excluded, such as those from marginalized backgrounds, students with special needs, or those who struggle academically? Again, looking into your 10 platforms, which includes your vision, or if we will look into your vision, inclusive and progressive leadership and equal opportunities. Where is your specific plan for students who feel excluded, such as those from marginalized backgrounds, students with special needs, or those who struggle academically?
Sa among platform called the Strand Week, Unity in Diversity, dili na siya about lang sa if kani imong strand kani mo apilan, kani imong strand kani mo apilan. Dili man na siya kana naka-base lang if you're in a dili naman na siya naka-base sa imong strand mismo po. Pwede man ka mo apilan na bisan asa. Even if we're trying to make the Strand Week Unity in Diversity na mo na platform very diverse and inclusive gyud, dili ra na siya close off sa unsa na strand ang iyalahang gikuan. Tapos if pwede sab ma'am, amo na siyang i-consider na idea kay nindot sab siya i-apply gyud appeal sa Strand Week namo po para na adjud mi a plan for those people na who you said felt excluded po sa such as katong mga na-marginalized na mga locations tapos etc.
So for the follow-up, since you mentioned na you can include others, especially when yung Strand Week, something. So how will you ensure that students, especially from lower income families, benefit equally from initiatives like Seniors Trade, where a 10% commission is collected? Again, let's focus on your Seniors Trade. What if the student is from a lower income family? So how will they be benefited from that?
The Seniors Trade po is focused man on an income generating project for amo in ESG para ang katong funds sa among malikom ato na projects namo, which is pareha pwede sab ni mag tap in sa among mga students na naay entrepreneur side ana sa mao na ang main point po sa among Seniors Trade. Once makalikom mi ana na mga funds po, pwede naman na mo i-use para makaserve sa mga Macalinians nga kato imong gi-mention po nga felt excluded and yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ito na to, ma'am.
Okay. Before we proceed to the round 2 of this question and answer proper, we have a surprise question from our Vice President of Academic Affairs and Research. She will be asking any officer from each party.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is addressed to all candidates. I just want to get your idea on these issues that we are now facing in the senior high. Okay, maybe your ideas will be able to help us. Because one of the concerns that we are facing right now in the senior high are the mental health of the students. And as I see, parang hindi masyado na-emphasize to some of the platforms that you have. So, in your own opinion, what do you think? What can we do or what can you do to address these mental issues of our students? Anybody from the candidates, any good ideas, we will entertain.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Bev. So, us Sure Portalists, we have this group platform called Soul Talks, Light Walks. So this platform, So this platform aims to kanabitang mag-give og light sa mga students because I myself have witnessed a lot of students suffering from mental health issues. Like silent na jud kayo na nga battle for them. But with the help of this platform, kay ma-enlighten sila nga kay kita, diba? We are a Michaelinian community. We are filled of Christians. So dapat mo strengthen ang ato ang faith kay Lord. That's why mag-invite me og mga students, mga teachers, and even our kanang mga sisters bitaw po. Ato silang i-interview nga anong gi-choose nilang ang vocation, unsay na-happen sa ilahang mga past, why did they choose their vocation, how did they strengthen their faith kay God. And with that, makahelp na siya sa mga, to those, dili tanan, but maybe makahelp lang jud siya sa uban who has been silently suffering sa ilahang mga mental health nga, bitaw no, na kaya manggani nila, ako pud oy kaya ni nako. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Bev. So, about the recent issue, related po sa among platform nga Gratitude Wall, there, pwede po sila magbutang og ilahang mga na-feel so that students can also kanang makatambag po sa ilahang na-feel pod. At the same time, we can also conduct symposium for them to feel seen, heard, and kanang ma-feel po nila na naapoy chance para sa ilahan na dili mo give up. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for that, candidate. So now we may proceed to the second round, the vice presidential questions. So each panelist may ask one question to the running vice president. Questions may focus on their platform or specific functions of the office. Answer time is 45 seconds to 1 minute, and one follow-up question is allowed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Santorce.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon to all the Michaelinians that are present. Hello, everyone.
So I believe since you are the Vice President, you are also knowledgeable of all the platforms that you have in your party lists. And as per my observation, several of your proposed platforms appear to share similarities in structure with programs already implemented by the current administration. I'm not saying completely the same, but almost the same with the existing programs. Given these observations, how do you respond to concerns that some of your proposals may simply replicate existing initiatives? Kindly identify one program from your platform that is most similar to the programs or the existing programs of the current administration? And what makes your version different, necessary, and better for the SHS student body?
So one of the platforms that we currently have that are very similar to the current ESG's administration is probably the Fine Sheet Weekly Roving. What we plan to make it more different is to implement a more stricter so that students can be more disciplined and that the students can follow the rules such as wearing the school uniform properly, wearing their ID lace, and making the school look cleaner and feel safe for every student to be in their classroom.
Okay. So thank you so much for that answer, but a follow-up question. Because as per also my observation, there is a column or a table below of the form wherein if the students, like for example, the attendance, absences, or maybe cutting classes, or maybe cursing inside the classroom, di ba there are, na siya necessary nga violation. Am I correct? In your administration, how are you going to address these violations? What are the steps that you are going to realize para atong ma-address na ang mga problem? Kasi as per my observation as well, nabutang siya, pero walay concrete steps. Napatawag sa teacher, yes, pero what would be the part of the ESG regarding this issue?
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Again, in our form, there are violations. Like for example, cursing, magkating, mo-absent, ibutang na sa ubos. Then we're going to label minor offense or major offense. What would be the part of the ESG to also somehow address this issue?
One of the platforms that we currently have that is related sa imong question is we have the zero policy, I think, balance, zero policy balance, where it addresses the kanang ganing mga offenses that we have in each of our rooms. Kanang kung mag-curse ka, then some students dili jud siya mo-follow. That is why we implemented a platform that helps the students be more disciplined or kanang ganing murag mahadlok sila nga dili na sila mo kuan, and it helps them grow more kanang ganing buotan ganun. And mara to.
So you're going to impose penalties for this?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you so much, Mr. Santorce. Now let's proceed to Mr. Estalane of Unlad Party List. So this is not actually related to your platforms, but I would also like to hear your idea regarding this matter because this has also been a problem of the department. Attendance during our Monday flag ceremony remains low despite it being held only once a week. As a potential ESG Vice President, how will you plan to address this issue? And how are you going to present it to the President and to the Council beyond simply enforcing rules? And what sustainable programs will you introduce to encourage voluntary and meaningful participation? Would you like me to repeat the question? Okay.
Thank you for that wonderful question, sir. Good afternoon, Michaelinians. And to answer that question is firstly, I will introduce the Kuha ID when I've noticed that some students musulod ra sila after flag ceremonies like 9 a.m. or 12 p.m. So nag-propose ko sa mga presidents na why not i-collect ang mga IDs sa mga late, like mga latecomers or mga udto na moabot. So na mga students, it's either mo absent sila or mo present or mag-early sa morning because it's not fair sa mga musayo og mata para most flag ceremony og dili makuha ang ID unya sila dili makuha ang ID tapos present pa gyud sila sa hapon. And that's it. Thank you.
As a follow-up, Mr. Estalane, what you have mentioned is already an existing practice of the department. Aside from that practice, do you think that there is other ways for us to solve that issue or problem? Aside from getting their IDs, kasi ato naman na na-practice. But then again, nagyod gihapoy number of students who are not following the rules in terms of attending classes on time. Or even the flag ceremony, because that is our issue.
Okay, the other proposed that I will say is why not make them clean up or community clean up sa mga late, especially sa mga mutuyo o pa-absent sa buntag para lang dili makuha ang ID or dili maka-flag. Why not propose a community clean up para sila ay magkuan ka dili na bitaw malate or ma-motivate na mukuan mo sayo o mo flag.
Thank you, Mr. Estelane. Thank you so much.
Hello, Justin.
Hello, ma'am.
So now, if you will become the vice president, how will you handle officers who are not performing their responsibilities?
So the current ESG, since I am the current ESG treasurer, we have implemented a system called kanaging strikes, where if ever you're late for the meetings or if ever you've said something offensive na makakita gani ang mga students, we have implemented a system where kantay if ever you have 3 strikes based sa imong performance, kanang late ka permente, for 3 strikes you get a warning, for 7 strikes kanang murag di na ka ma-recognize as a ESG officer, and for 10 strikes I think is ma-impeach na ka. As an aspiring vice president, I wish to continue that system and to make it and to make my role as the mediator, as the vice president, akong i-keep sa ilang mind nga be attentive kay ikaw ESG ka, we are role models of the school.
Another question. Thank you for your answer. Now, since you are vice president, now your role is to step up when the president is unavailable. Now, how will you ensure leadership continuity given that the president is unavailable?
If ever the president is not available, mag-ask ko na to inform, mag-ask ko sa president to inform me before kana ganing mo unavailable na siya. I believe that communication really plays a big part of the role in sa organization. Mag-ask ko nang unsa may buhaton na mo karon kay para mura ganig at least makatabang kulman lang na ipadayon ang mga buhaton na mo karon, and since thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mike Estalane. So, as Vice President, how will you support the President while also leading your own initiatives? Again, as Vice President, how will you support the President while also leading your own initiatives?
Thank you for that wonderful answer, ma'am. To answer that question is I would support my president to her or his mga plan para sa school na makabuti sa ako while initiating mga good platforms and mga good nga systems na atong ipa-implement. Sorry. And thank you, that's all.
Good afternoon, Lius.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So, many teachers observe that some students keep going out of the classroom during class hours. And I guess you also observe that. Even without valid reasons or just saying na moadtor mi sa kuan CR. As a student leader, what concrete measures will you propose to minimize unnecessary out-of-class movement while still respecting students' legitimate needs and emergencies? Again, as leader, what concrete measures will you propose to minimize unnecessary out-of-class movement while still respecting students' legitimate needs and emergencies?
I believe that this is where my communication to the class officers come into play. I believe that with the participation or the support with the classroom presidents and other officers, I believe that kana ganing murag musulti sila nga or mag-keep track sila sa mga students na mo go outside. And di ba ang rule jud sa classes or sa classrooms nato is mananghid ta sa atong presidents. So as the future or the aspiring vice president, I would like to implement strict kanang excuse me, ma'am, if I may, pwede ko mangayog another question na lang since unfair man pod kay nagkuan biya tas mag-given ko more time to prepare. So I'm back to what I was saying. This is where the classroom officers come into play, especially the secretary since siya man ang mag-take og attendance. During monthly meetings, during the monthly meetings, I will remind the students or the classroom officers to kanang bantayon ilang classmates. And naman po tayo weekly reviewing to kanang maging makitaan ang mga students who are going outside, magbadlungan pod gamay kung nganong nag-standby man sila, especially if they are in the kubo. Thank you.
I have a follow-up. That's why it's okay. Sige. And you mentioned you'll coordinate with the officers, especially the president and the secretary. But they are also students. They also want to focus on their academics. So, given that, what specific system will you propose so that monitoring and implementation do not disrupt officers' own classes and responsibilities? Again, what will be your specific system so our officers or classroom officers will not have a disrupted classes or responsibilities.
Can you repeat the question again, ma'am? Pwede in Bisaya po.
Unsay buhaton nimo nga system kay si class president o si secretary estudyante man pod sila. Gusto po nila mag-focus. Unya kung magbantay lang sila permi sa ilang classmate, dili sila ka-focus sa ilang academic. So what will be your system para dili pod ma-left out ilahang kaugalingon nga classes or responsibility as a student?
Well, I would, of course, the pinakataas jud sa system is the ang pinakataas guys sa classroom is the teachers. I would like to ask them na bantayan na lang mga students nga murag mananghid gyud sila before mo gawas kay para murag mabantayan pud ang mga students nga si gawas or sige pug standby, and dili naman pod ang katong executives sa officers. There are so many students nga kana ganing kuan, pero if ever there isn't really a classroom officer that is available due to their academics, then of course, ako nga mag-story man ko, kay murag, pag mag-grade 12, what I've heard is that murag ka naging nasa free time for the research. Before I leave the class, before I leave the school for my research and everything else, I would like to roam around the building or the campus. That's all, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon.
Let's focus here in your gratitude wall. The thank you, Michaelinian. So how does this platform address urgent, take note ha, urgent student concerns like academic pressure or financial difficulties, or let's say, katong giingon ni Ma'am Gainang nga mental health challenge that students face daily. Again, please take note that this is urgent student concerns. So how will you address this using your platform?
Can you please repeat again, ma'am?
Using your gratitude wall, di ba, naaman mo yung thank you, Michaelinian. Sometimes, maybe, naay mo kuan din ha ang naa sila'y urgent concern. So example, again, take note of the term urgent. So how will you address, especially example, academic pressure, financial difficulty, o katong gi-address gaina nga mental health challenges?
Okay, thank you for the wonderful question. And ang among first ipabuild is magbutang mi og daily Bible verse for everyone to get motivated, especially to those who are in needs of allowance and something else, the mga problem ilang kuan. And to address it urgently is we would make it more kanang motivational, ma'am, para sa ila na don't kanang dili sila musuko miskan unsa may hamon sa buhay. Thank you.
Kani para mas kuan sa imo ha. Your One Voice initiative has this about leadership role as a leader. So inyong One Voice initiative actually translates scattered student concerns. So how will you implement solution? Unsaon nimo paglihok nga makahatag ka og solution, which is also connected to the first or previous question.
Para ma-answer ng question is, we will gather everyone's concerns o mga ilang nag-worry about their personal life or sa school to gather it para among ma-resolve, maghinahinay na mag-resolve o sa ilang personal nga problems is we will resolve it gradually and with love.
Thank you.
Ani?
Host.
So we will now be proceeding to the round 3 of this question and answer proper, wherein the panelists will be asking questions to other officers, excluding the president and vice president of each party. So panelists may ask questions to at least 2 officers. And questions must relate to their respective roles and platforms. Also, the answer time will be 45 seconds to 1 minute again, and 1 follow-up question is allowed.
Okay, we'll be asking one officer from both of the parties. So one sa UNLAD and one sa SURE. So let's start sa SURE party lists. Party list. Okay, I would like to direct this question to Mr. Etkuban. Okay. Mr. Etkuban, you have notable leadership experience both inside and outside school, including involvement in LGBTQ organizations, according to your credentials that you have posted online. Considering that SMCC is a Catholic school with specific values and practices, how will you ensure that your identity does not conflict with your responsibilities as a student leader? Furthermore, how would you guide and inspire LGBTQ students to express themselves authentically while also respecting the school's culture, religious values, and behavioral expectations?
Okay.
Would you like me to repeat the
Yes
question?
po. Can you please repeat po?
Again, Mr. Etkuban, according to your credentials posted online, you have a notable leadership experience both inside and outside school. Even involvement in LGBTQ organizations. Considering that SMCC is a Catholic school with specific values and practices, how will you ensure that your identity does not conflict with your responsibilities as a student leader? Furthermore, we have other LGBTQ students. How are you going to inspire them or motivate them to express themselves authentically while also respecting the school's culture, religious values, and behavioral expectations?
Thank you, sir. Okay. To be honest, personally, when I transferred here in SMCC, taas jud ko og hair before. Tapos, like, dili jud ko, like, babae jud kayo ko sa una, ma'am. And then, nagpakat ko og hair because I choose SMCC. I followed SMCC and I respect SMCC. Well then, how am I to inspire, unsaon ako pag-inspire akong co-LGBT as a student leader, as a member of the LGBT community. So, for me, here in SMCC, daghan jud kay kog amigo diri nga part sa LGBT community, especially dito sa senior high school campus. Well then, unsaon ako sila pag-inspire? Well, first and foremost, kabalo naman ta nga naa rules and regulations ang SMCC. Well, we can express ourselves nga magpakainaan ta. We can express ourselves nga kanang
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Etkuban. Okay, for SURE party list, I would like to also direct this question to Miss Baha. Miss Baha,
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
good afternoon. You are the current ESG president of the junior high school department.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're also running for a position of a grade 11 representative. Coming from grade 10, St. Paul, and with your notable achievements both inside and outside of school, what motivated you to run for this specific position? Again, as a grade 11 representative, do you think that you do not deserve for a higher position given that you have the skills and leadership experience? Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, that's all right, sir. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, once again. To be honest, I personally believe that I could ace every aspect of a higher position. But to be given that I am only a junior high school student, but I need to adjust myself for the higher department, which is the senior high school department, I have considered the decision that I would firstly witness how the senior high school department atmosphere is, to adjust myself and to act for my position with integrity or responsibilities accurately. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baha. That would be all. Thank you so much, officers.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now, for the sure party, I would like to ask the grade 12 representative, grade Angelo Carbuelas. So, my question, since you are running for the grade 12 representative, so you must connect with the grade 12 students also. Now, if you will win as grade 12 representative, how will you connect with grade 12 students who are not active in school organization and in academics? And how will you support the grade 12 in balancing academics, extra co-curricular activities or roles, and graduation preparation as a grade 12?
Can you please repeat the question, ma'am?
Again, how will you connect with grade 12 students who are not active in organization and in academics? And how will you support them in balancing academics, extra co-curricular roles, and graduation preparation?
First of all, ma'am, running as a representative for my batchmates requires, meaning I would need to change myself in order to serve the student body. So, para sa akin, dapat mauna ako being a good example for them in terms of time management, pag-manage sa atong schedules daily, sa atong works and school works, and etc. And so, in regards of that, running for this position also means having the responsibility to show the consistency, the commitment that will actually give the inspirational and also commitment po sa akong mga batchmates to do the same, and that's all.
Okay, follow up. How will you connect or how will you connect the students who are not active? That is my question. How will you contact them as grade 12? Since you are a graduating students man.
So thankfully, ma'am, I studied here at junior high since grade 7. I have I have tons of connections. Kikan pa lang sa grade 7 gani tod sa akong batchmates. So that pa lang is a very good, huge advantage for me since I am an approachable rin a person. And through that, I can also use that as a meaningful connection to reach out from them, from their friend to their friend. And by that, ako na bahala sa akong pag-approach sa ilaha and how to connect them and how to get the information out of them so I can use it for the greater good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Carbelas. For the UNLAD party, I would like to ask the one who is running for the auditor position, Cristel Abao. One of your platforms is about inventory system, right? Now, how will inventory system help ensure fair access to school learning resources? How will inventory system help ensure fair access to school learning resources.
Okay, so good afternoon, Ma'am Pizon. Para sa akong platform is the Michaelian Inventory. It is where the students borrow academic materials. Now, to ensure fair access sa among platform, we will conduct a first come, first serve. Or we would ask the students why they would borrow the academic materials. If their reason is important, then we would let the students borrow the items. But if it is not important, then we would like to give the items to those students who are really wanting to borrow the item.
Okay, thank you.
I'll ask for the sure party, the public information officer, Miss Jolie Angeli Rombide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
So, Ms. Rombide, as a PIO or Public Information Officer, you will handle several communication platforms.
Yes.
And we know there is already a rampant misinformation. I know you've observed that among students. What concrete verification process will you implement before posting any announcement or update? And who will be your official sources to ensure that all information you disseminate is factual and not based on rumors? I will repeat.
Good afternoon, senior high school Michaelians. So, as a public information officer, you're the one who's facing the public. So, sa basic ingon ni ma'am, kay misinformation, and how am I supposed to check if the informations are correct or factual? With that, I will be ensuring na ako'y great partnership sa ako ang co-officers, sa mga teachers, sa faculty and staffs. Para, before ko mag-announce, kay mag-ask ko sa grade 11 representative or sa grade 12 representative, if sakto ba ni, and of course, sa kanang head sa grade 11 ng mga faculty, as well as sa grade 12. So that I ensure nga safe and dili ko nag-spread og misinformation. Other than that, kay pwede pod ko, like, with my creative skills, kay pwede ko mag-make og kanang mga PubMats bitaw that relates to it, and then to double check. Kaya ang mga students manggod nowadays, they don't check about it if dili sila engaging tan-awon. That's why.
Okay, since you mentioned that, what if later you will discover that there is an incorrect or misleading post na na-release under your watch? What immediate steps will you take to correct misinformation and rebuild students' trust in official ESG communication?
Okay, so ma'am, first, I will take down the post. Right after that, I will sincerely apologize for how the things happened. And then, of course, as a person nga na sa public, ako ang grade 11 representative and grade 12 representative in the future if given the chance. Kaya ako silang pahimuon o group chats together with their presidents. And then, by that, diha ako mag-say sorry, mag-apologize ko for how the things worked out. Mo nang ikuan jud namo siya nga ma-help and maka-apologize jud migtarong and mas ipa-clear na mo ang amuang information nga ihatag. And then by the next time, kay na-happen naman na, amuan na siyang i-take note, and then of course, mag-improve lang may every time nga na I mistake.
Okay, thank you. For Unlad, I want to ask Miss Secretary Lady Claire Salon.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, as a secretary, you're the main keeper, especially with your submit sync station, right? So, how will you, or what specific system will you use to log, verify, and safely store all submissions and minutes so that the teachers and students can rely on your records as a single factual reference?
Can you please repeat the question, ma'am?
As a secretary, since you're documenting, so how will you, or what specific system will you use to log, verify, and safely store all submissions or maybe the minutes to teachers so that teachers and students can rely on your records as single factual reference?
Thank you, ma'am. So for our Submit Sync station, students can really rely on us ESG officers if ever, since they will be the ones submitting their works on that day. We will just be assisting during their submission process. And sa minutes of the meeting po, ma'am, for the printed copies, of course, we have our inventory sa ESG, if I'm not mistaken. We will put there the minutes of the meeting and as well as ma-inform ang mga teachers for that. And I will also, sa minutes of the meeting, I will include all the important agendas that were discussed during that meeting clearly.
Okay, thank you. But what if, this is situational, what if a teacher or a student points out a discrepancy sa imuhang record and they have proof? How will you handle that conflict and what will be your process for correcting the official record while keeping everything transparent and well documented?
For ano lang po, ma'am, clarification, can I please ask to elaborate the word the word discrepancy?
Discrepancy with your record.
Can I ask you to elaborate discrepancy po so that I can answer it correctly?
Wala. Sige. Ha? Yeah. Discrepancy, maybe lahi imong nasulat sa actual nga kuan sa, let's say, nag-meeting mo niya, lahi imong nasulat than the actual talaga. Or maybe, naamoy kanang gisettle o niya ang student kay dapat kabaluman ang senior high school sa inyong minutes. Naamay transparency dapat ana. So what if naay discrepancy nga ningon nga halo, dili man ni tinuod. Nganong kuan man ni? So how will you handle that? Especially if naa siya proof nga ipakita.
Your question, ma'am, definitely connects me with the Tapatan's theme, which is transparency and accountability. As a future ESG officer, I would take accountability for what happened. As a secretary, I am humble enough to know and to admit my mistake. Therefore, through that mistake, I believe also that every day is a learning. And through that mistake, I would want to improve more on the things that I am lacking and on the things that are my weaknesses. That would be all.
Thank you, candidates. And now we may proceed to the round 4, which is the audience participation. 3 selected audience members will be given the opportunity to ask questions. The audience must clearly state to whom the question is directed. Example, the president, vice president, secretary, or etc. If the question applies to a specific position, both candidates holding the same position from different parties must answer. Each candidate will answer within 45 seconds to 1 minute. No follow-up questions are allowed in this round.
We will now start the open forum where questions may be raised and further clarified. This is your chance to ask, to understand, and to think deeper about the leaders you will soon be choosing. So, we will be catering questions na yung pwede ma-ask any officer from different parties. Kindly raise your hand. Okay, we have a question from...
Good afternoon, everyone. So, aning kanang question ako is directly stated sa business manager, actually. So, ang akong question is, do you have any experience, or if you don't have any experience, why should we still vote for you as a business manager? pwede ba vote party list mo answer ana na question? Pwede vote party list answer mo. Oh, kani. Kung ako lang i-outro akong question. Do you have any experience? If not, why should we still vote for you if you don't have any experience?
So, as I said, Gaina, right now, I am the class president of grade 11 St. Helena and the vice president of the MME or the math club in this school. And last year, I was the treasurer of the MME as well. So I have experience in handling financial management. And I think you should vote for me because I have the experience where I can prove you guys nga kaya ni nako nga position. And that I can, yes. I can keep track sa mga financial records to keep transparency, organized, and to make sure nga walay ghost projects.
Thank you very much. To clarify, to repeat again, if one officer sa one party list ang gi-ask sa audience, then dapat po mo answer ang same question sa PICA's party list. Okay, so let us now hear from the business manager of the UNLAD party.
So, to answer your question about experience, although I may not have a direct experience of being a BM, although I am a secretary for the Filipino Club and a secret committee and the documentary committee for the YA org, kana siya nga experience helped me on how to make a financial report. On the outside of sa school naman, sa kabaluman mo sa grade 10, I have an entrepreneurship nga magimog choco balls sa diri as a school, and also ako po ang magbantay po sa among tindahan na mo nga maliit. So siya kana nga experience have helped me from these experiences as a BM. And also I wanna say nga I have the KSA. I have the knowledge, skills, and attitude for it. And I thank you.
We'll be catering 2 more questions from the audience. Please raise your hand. Ay, okay. We're seeing one in the front.
Hello, 1, 2, mic test. Okay. This is a question for both the treasurers and the business managers because nag-worry naman po ta about sa inyong inyong mga platforms kasi ang uban ana kay kailangan mangyud funding. So, where do you propose nga asa mo makuha og funding? Kasi basin ang mga estudyante pod nga maglisod pod og bayad ana kay maglisod pod. Okay. Thank you.
Can you please repeat the question?
Um, 1, 2, mic test. Okay. This question is for both the treasurers and the business managers. I would like to ask if unsaon ninyo pag-uphold sa inyong mga platforms nga para sa funding or ang problem of the funding because not every student is privileged enough or naitaghay kwarta. So, unsaon ninyo or unsa inyong nahisgotang sa inyong group or party nga makakuha og funding or sustainable amount of money para ma-ensure nga ang inyong promises nga ma-uphold ninyo.
So of course, para ma-implement ang mga events, we need funds, Jud. And to know, the first day of school nga, wala pa dyan na siya i-fund. So we need income-generating platforms or IGP. And akong nahuna-hunaan is to continue ang na-start sa ESG. which is the back to school, the temporary ID para sa mga grade 11, and sa mga transferees, the ID pins and the shirts, kay for sure, daghan may gusto mo palit na merchandise sa senior high school department. And then also, IGP siya sa, kanabitong season, like for Valentine's, magkuan mig marriage booth, and for foundation, magkuan mig photo booth, wherein makaget me og money.
So we also have the platform called Golden Road Initiative. So the Golden Road Initiative is like katong esports. So katong esports, pwede mo gamit ato para mag-register. So we have the money. And secondly, we have IGI. So income generating initiative. That platform kay pwede na siya kanang that initiative kay, for example,
Time's
pwede
up.
siya na fund run o fundraising.
So to answer Mr. Barlisan's question, our party list already has its IGP platform, which is the seniors trade, which we can generate income after receiving 10% of the items that is sold for the students from the decluttered stuffs from from the student body. Other than that,
Mr. Balisan, so sa sugod pa lang sa klase, we will have the katong gibuhat sa ASD, which is sa merch, and also dus ko na mo ngan sa stickers and pins also. So kana siya is maka IGP na siya. That's all.
Will be
Just for the information of everybody, the ESG, you know you're paying ESG fee. Actually, if the party or the ESG officers will ask for some funding, charge to the ESG fee, and if they can justify that this is a major project that could really help the student body, then definitely I think the school is willing to release a portion of that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll be catering last question from the audience. Wow.
This question is directed to the presidents of both parties. Now, kabalo man ko na kamong duha, former and current ESG officers, but sa ako, inyong roles kay layo ra gyud kayo sa role sa presidente. From my experience as a president of the Science Club, ang role sa presidente astang bugata gyud, club pa lang daan, nagkagubot na may sa kalisod. So unsaon man ninyo pagkuan, ensure sa amo na kaya ninyong role as ESG, especially since inyong roles is auditor and representative. Unsaon man ninyo pag-bridge sa gap sa kuan responsibility ana.
Can you repeat the question?
Again, to simplify lang, sa inyong experience kay layo ra gyud kayo sa president. So how would you bridge the experience gap to make sure that ma-ensure me na dapat nimo botar sa inyo kay makaya ninyo ang role as president?
Sa ako, my previous role was treasurer of the ESG JHS department. And sa ano man gyud sa president man gyud dili ra dili ra halos tanan kailangan kabalo ko tanan. Kailangan ko kabalo sa role sa finance department, kailangan ko kabalo ko sa communication sa pareha sa PIO. And sa ako lala ko yung experience sa treasurer ko ang pakusano. So right now I'm still learning how to become the president through my new experiences, and I still believe that through learning, I will become a better president day in, day out, which is why we should vote for us.
Excuse me, could you repeat the question one last time po?
How would you bridge the experience gap to ensure us that you are suitable for the position of president?
Okay, so actually, as a grade 11 representative, that's not only my position na nataganan before. I was a ESG grade 7 representative, grade 8 representative, and the grade 11 representative. Aside from that, I have been a class president for grade 8 St. Rita, grade 9 St. Cyril, and grade 10 St. Paul, as well as other organizations sa akong naapila na. And most importantly, ang akong experience, I've had the privilege to be under the leadership of familiar names such as Michelle Aquino, Bridget Santorce, and even Rasmel Coraza. With that experience instilled in me, I think I could be the best choice for being your next ESG president because I am versatile, I have leadership skills, I have integrity, accountability, and I am committed to the Michaelian community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, candidates. And now, we have a bonus question from the current ESG PIO.
Okay, so hello, good afternoon. So this question is for the public information officers. So I would want to ask, there is specific time or there time wherein there are several events happening around the school, which means that you have to announce, you have a lot of announcements to give. So they would accumulate or they tend to overlap other announcements that you have made. So my question is, how will you make sure that despite the load of announcements that you will be giving, how will you make sure that all students will be well informed?
Thank you for your question. That question is very timely, John, as someone nga permi pod attend og other events. So I would be, para everyone, kay mahatagan og information, I would ask for help. Kay this is, ESG is about group work man gihapon ni siya. It's a group initiative. So I would be asking for help sa ako ang grade 11 and then grade 12 representative if given the chance. And then also, mag-make me og kanabitang community of sa mga grade 11 students and grade 12 students so that maisa na lang namo og designate ang mga informations. And again, to ensure nga correct ang amo ang informations nga panghatag sa ilaha, we will let the teachers double check it first, especially sa ato ang principal. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chong. Thank you, candidates. Sorry.
Can you repeat the question po ulit, Ate Jessie?
Okay, so hi, good afternoon. So there is a specific time in like the school year where dagan kayo events happening around sa atong school. So that means that you'll be giving lots of announcements. And over time, they tend to accumulate or load up. So how will you make sure that with the load of announcements that you're giving, how will you make sure that all students will remain informed?
So thank you for that, Ate Jessie. Kabalo man jud ta nga daghay event mahitabo diri sa atong school. So for the students na makabalo sila sa mga announcement, syempre i-divide na ako ang announcement per section or per level para dili pod ko maglisod sa time management. At the same time, mag-use ko multiple channels such as posting it through group chats or through bulletin board or classroom visitation if kaya pa para everywhere nasan sila ay makahibalo sila unsa jud ang buhaton o unsa ang announcement sa mga upcoming event. That's all. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you very much through our different PIOs. Okay, wala pa dyan na human because our very own ESG Senior High School President will be asking questions from any of the officers in the party list.
So this question is addressed to both the presidents of the running party list. So my question is leadership about authority or service? Explain your stand. Again, is leadership about authority or service? Please explain your stand.
Okay. Hello? Okay. From your question, is leadership about authority or service? I can relate to that because sa una, nakakita kong video sa una na differences between a boss and a leader. And from that video, I had learned that a boss kanang sila yung sila na ingon na trabaho na. Pero ang leader, sila ang magtabang, sila sila yung mo start sa program, sila yung So I believe that that leadership is not about authority but service. Because because a good leader is not a boss, but a good leader helps his fellow officers, helps his fellow students, and helps his fellow Michaelinians in bettering themselves, bettering the community, and bettering the Michaelinian family. And thank you.
Again, the question is leadership about authority or service? Explain your stand.
I grew up serving a lot of communities, Najad. So I can stand here to say that leadership is not about authority, but it is service to other people. That's why I'm running for this position as president, because I believe that I have what it takes to offer to some Michaelinian community. For example, they need a good leader, which is why I am here, because I want to serve the Michaelinian community. Leadership has always been something I am passionate about. It is something my heart's been wanting to do. Therefore, I am here committing myself to serve the student body wholeheartedly and passionately with integrity and purpose for the future of the Michaelinian community. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, candidates. Thank you, Rosmel. So, proceed na tayo sa round 5, which is the inter-party officer questions. 3 officers from each party, excluding the president, may ask 1 question to any officer from the opposing party. Questions must relate to platforms, qualifications, or the functions of the position. Answer time is 45 seconds to 1 minute. No follow-up questions shall be allowed in this round. Excluding the president. We'll be having a toss coin para mag-decide kung kinsa ang una mag-throw a question. Okay, so since nag-toss coin naman day taga-ina, so the first one to ask questions is the Unlad party list. Then mag-answer tayo ng Sure Party.
Now, this question is for the grade 11 representative. What makes you the most qualified person for this position aside from experience?
Can you repeat the question, please?
For your question, what makes you the most qualified person for this position aside from experience?
Thank you for that question. To be honest, I never had an experience for being a officer or something. I before have experience in elementary, so for my even though I never had an experience, I lead with the heart, and I am confident. I am here in the front of you, confident to be a grade 11 representative because of, and I am responsible of my duty to be, and I believe that I will be partner up and teamwork to each other, and that's all.
It is now time for the sure party to ask any officer question for the unled party.
Hello. Hello.
So, this question is for the grade 12 representative. Um, so, given you have the opportunity now to serve the student body, how would you uniquely show your way that, given that um, you don't have the same exemplary experience you can tell other officers, how would you actually show your part, or how would you do it in your own way to execute your work and complete your responsibility as a representative?
So, to answer that question, firstly, I believe that leadership means representing every voice and taking action. So, aside from my experiences, I have this personality that I am easy to reach out. I have humble and something like friendly personality, which helps the students to easily reach out to me. Thank you.
Okay, so this question is originally for my opponent, but since nag-answer na siya og question, so let's move for the grade 12 representative. To give you a scenario, since we all know sa foundation slip, need yun siya i-keep for the students para sa ilang e-clearance since that is a requirement. And we all know we have the sheets for the clearing for the ESG clearance, which is one of the requirement is the foundation slip. So if ever lost, what will be the common or ways you will think to give solution for it?
So thank you for the wonderful question. Given my experience on handling that one, which is the clearance nga, so that's like end of the year sa foundation ba yun? Foundation. So given if the situation na mawala ang isa ka students is nawala ay ilahang permit, there is compensation nilang which they would have to pay a fine iset pod sa which are set by the government pod. And based on that pod, yeah.
Hello? So this question is for the treasurer, my opponent. So, if you discover money went missing or a budget error after an event, what exact steps will you take?
So here come, kapusog ani OH. So this, sa iyang question, diriyan mo sulod ang accountability. First, I will acknowledge my mistakes, and then I will change it afterwards, since I can assure everyone that I am accountable and transparent. Therefore, does that answer your question?
Okay, yeah.
Yes, no? This question is also for the treasurer. So, if funds are limited, which platform will you prioritize and why?
I will prioritize my platform because it consists no budget, because it only consists with sports coordinator. So kana palang daan. And ang ikaduha na ako is the Golden Road Initiative. Kay kana na ay registration na fee para lang katong sa esports, and that, thank you. Does that answer your question po?
last. All right. So, as is, so this is that's na noon. This question is for nakulbahan ko guys. This question is for my opponent. Okay. So ang transparency is not just sa ato as a auditor. So how will you ensure transparency? That's only a simple question.
Well, thank you for the question. To ensure transparency, of course, as my role of auditor, ako man ginang role nga mag-audit sa ato mga or mga na-paid or mga gibang palit din nga mga gamit. So, to ensure transparency, we would provide some receipt. Now, if ever those receipt like na-lost ang mga receipt, of course we can promote or makaano tag ways nga make digital receipts. So to promote transparency, ako radyong ano sa position ako auditor is mag-provide mig visual nga receipts or digital if ever ang kanang receipts is ma-lost.
Pwede mag-follow up po.
Now that we are done with the fifth round, wherein the officers from different party ask questions to the opponent, excluding the president, we will now be proceeding to the round 6, wherein presidents from each of the party will be asking questions to each other, starting off with the UNLAD party list to ask a question for the SURE party list president. I take note of the mechanics. The running presidents may ask only one question to their opponent. Answer time will be 45 seconds to 1 minute again, and one follow-up question is allowed.
My question for the SURE party list president is, do you think that you are deserving to win as an ESG president?
As of now, I don't believe that I am truly deserving of this position, but I do believe that eventually, through growth, through practice, and through day-to-day improvement of my skills, I will eventually become a better president than I will become today. But right now, I truly don't believe that I am the best right now. But if you vote for me, I will ensure you that I will improve day in and day out, which is why you should vote for me as the president of ESG. Okay, for Ayla, same question. Why follow up yapon? Same question gani. Same question gani. Same one. Ako yung question.
Same question?
Oh, same question. Why do you think you're deserving of this position? Oh.
Hello everyone, once again. I believe that I am deserving to win as the next ESG Senior High School President. It's because I bear the aspects of a true leader and a true Michaelinian, which is to be socially responsible, missionaries of Christian values, and I'm committed and I'm competent. I am compassionate, I am driven, and I'm committed to serve the whole Michaelinian community. So if you vote for me, I assure you nga dili jud ta mo sayangan, and I promise you, I won't promise you perfection, I will promise you commitment and transparency. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, candidates. Now we're going to proceed to the round 7, the final panel question. The panelists shall ask one final question addressed to both running presidents. Each president will answer within 45 seconds to 1 minute. No follow-up questions are allowed.
Hello. Okay, this question is for the both party president. What is your step-by-step plan during your first 100 days in office? Again, what is your step-by-step plan during your first 100 days in office? Sure party president.
For the question, what would I do for the first 100 days? Step by step plan for the first 100 days. From our platforms, I would first implement our fine sheet roving platform to ensure cleanliness and tidiness in all classrooms. Next up, we would implement the our Michaeling program in order to help the clubs in finding members in their and next up we would next implement the Soul Talks Light Walks initiative, the podcast in order to help students find purpose, find faith, and find their faith in God. Next up, we would implement the secure line in order to reduce bullying, to help Michaelinos in their problems, and that is all of our primary 100 days.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Batukan. Next, Ayla.
Could you repeat the question, please, po?
What is your step-by-step plan during your first 100 days in office?
So, amo yung first plan sa amo ang party list is magsugod sa amin sa mga income-generating na projects para makafund mi sa among mga minors sa mga activities. And with that, if makafund na pod mi ana, amo nang ipang-suporta para sa among major activities na sa para ma-ensure gid namo nga dili mabitinan ang mga Michaelinians, tas mahatagan jud namo sila sa mga projects ug mga plans nga they deserve good. Because again, once again, we're here para maka-lead me with integrity and purpose. Dili kami diri para mag-make og false promises because our platforms aren't just promises, they are also practices. Thank you.
For my last question, let's have the sure party president. So your term will end, if you will be the president, your term will end at 2027. So what concrete measurable evidence can you point that proves you made a lasting positive impact on the Michaelinian community? Again, what concrete measurable evidence can you point that proves you have made a lasting positive impact on Michaelinian community?
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Sige, in short, when you graduate or maybe if your term ends, what actually changed because of your leadership? Aside from nag-hold me event, aside from that, as a president, unsa man ang nabag-o, let's say, or ang imuhang impact as a leader to our senior high school Michaelinian family?
I believe that if I were to be president and my term will end in 2027, I would believe that the concrete evidence that our term and that my term has made a significant impact on Michaelinians is through my personal platform, which is Pick Up Where You Left At, which I will see in the student athletes, student leaders, and student journalists to see if their grades have increased or not with the help of my leadership. But also, that is not also my only concrete evidence. I would also try to gather opinions, suggestions, recommendations of my leadership because true opinions are truly the concrete evidence whether or not I have made a significant impact during my term. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question, ma'am?
So, what concrete measurable evidence can you point that proves you made a lasting positive impact on the Michaelinian community aside from just holding events?
For me po is if ilahang ipadayon ang platform namo nga Pots of Progress. Cause ganahan jud kay ko ani na platform namo cause it does not only nagplan-plan namin na magtanong-tanong, but it stands for what I advocate from. I advocate for environmental change and with this platform namo makita jud namo ang unsa jud ka socially responsible ang mga Michaelinians. So if ipadayon ni namo siguro if ipadayon ni sa next school year after sa amo ang term if ever elected, then makaingon jud mi na we've really done a job well done kay nakita nila ang purpose sa among platform in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, congratulations everyone. Good afternoon everyone. I would like to also congratulate all the officers for coming here, for facing your fears, for answering all the questions, for standing on stage. I know that it is not really easy to answer questions knowing that you have a great audience here, a great crowd, no, from all across departments. I guess at a junior high school, na senior high school, and college. And from that palang, you are already a winner. So hopefully right after the election, whatever the result will be, I do hope that you're going to pursue and continue your passion and commitment in leadership. Not maybe here inside the school, but maybe outside the school. This is my last question. The ESG Senior High School Organization over the past 4 years has set a high standard of service. Gikan pa kang Kathleen, followed by Brichelle, followed by Kyla, and of course the current administration headed by Rasmel. There is a high standard of service, transparency, student engagement, and well-executed programs. And I believe we can all agree nga nindot yun ang ilang mga programs even from the start of the school, no? Even wala pang nag-start na sila yung mga programs. So this is my question to both of the president. If elected, how will your administration not only maintain but also elevate this legacy? Again, if elected, how will your administration not only maintain but also elevate this legacy?
If I were to be elected and from your question, from the previous terms, the previous terms have created a high standard for the ESG, and I believe that we could maintain and improve this term in our term through our own unique and thoughtful platforms, focusing on student achievements, not only achievements, focusing on student participation, but also some of our platforms are similar to the previous platforms, such as the roving, but we are improving it in order to maintain and elevate the standard of the current ESG. And I believe that if we were to be voted, if our term will happen, then I believe that our term will.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now let's proceed to the President of UNLAD Party List.
Could you repeat the question, good sir?
Okay. Again, for the last 4 years, the ESG organization has set a high standard of service, transparency, student engagement, and well-executed programs. If elected, how will your administration not only maintain but also elevate this legacy?
We will have innovative ideas, new ideas. We will have compassion-driven projects, and we will ensure the students na they will have the best service from the best student leaders. Because I believe as long as we lead with our hearts, mapadayon na namo na legacy nila for these 4 whole years. Because I believe we owe it to the Michaelinians a bigger, a brighter, a better, and a holier future here at St. Michael College of Caraga. Thank you, everyone, and Burak Senior High!
Thank you so much. From this moment, may I request everyone to please stand. Please stand. And let us give our appreciation to these people with our best applause. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, officers. You may now take your seats. Back to your hosts.
Thank you, panelists. Thank you, candidates. And now we're going to proceed to the next part of the program, which is the open forum. Wala pa'y manguli kay wala pa nahuman ang event. So ano, nanindog naman ang nasa likod.
Excuse me everyone, dili pwede mag-attendance ang tindog-tindog. Dili na sila makauli. Wala pa minigingon nga humana ang program, tapos nag-attendance na mo. Everyone, please go back to your seats. The program is not over. There is still another part of the program, which is the open forum. Since we only catered 3 or more students earlier, we will be catering more questions from each of you students, because we are here to question our dear party, because this is very crucial, because they will be running for the next school year executive student government senior high school department.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So now, mag-open forum na ta. So,
We will have 15 minutes to cater your questions. 15 to 10. 10. Okay, 10 minutes. So, katong mga wala na call, gain na kaya sila mga questions, feel free to ask questions from any of the officers from the different party.
Okay, nalapod sa likod. Students first. Okay, so now, grabe, siya na naman. Sa una. Okay.
Regarding Vitani sa peace officer, because I've noticed na naay peace, like sa other party list is, their current peace officer is gonna be grade 11. Well, my question will be like, how are you sure that you're gonna maintain peace as a peace officer regarding of your like imong age difference pod sa unlad ni na na question pwede pod mo answer ang sure pod.
Excuse me, so regarding sa akong age, last school year, ni-serve ko as a ESG peace officer and grade 9 pa ko ato, and sa uban, and I served as an ESG peace officer. I was grade 9 pa ko, and for katong nga time, dili pa gid ko sure nga mudaan mo ko. I feel like dili mo respect ang uban grade 10 sa ko, pero through that nakita na ako nga mo respeto gid ang mga uban seniors ako, so I feel like I do deserve it. Yes, thank you.
Next, we're going to nasa ano.
Hi, so good afternoon, everyone. This question is only applicable to the Secretary of UNLAD Party List, since this is about her platform, the Submit Sync platform. I would just want for you to have a clear elaboration on how this platform works. Kay it emphasizes nga para matabangan ang students sa ilahang task submissions like kanang mga late or walay phone or walay internet, since gi-clear man ninyo diri ang 2 hours lang ang limit sa Wi-Fi. So I would just like to ask if unsaon ninyo pag-help sa students nga walay Wi-Fi, walay cellphones, or katong mga na-late nga task, especially nga ang current ESG office karon is wala po'y Wi-Fi or walay cellphones available.
Thank you for that. So upon establishing this platform, we already considered those kind of kanang mga questions. So just to give you guys a more explained kuan sa among platform, the Submit Sync Station is intended para makapasa ang students kay di man jud ta perfect. Naman jud time nga makalimot ta nga karon ang deadline sa kanang task. So therefore, we would make a designated station sa ESG office. We won't be using any fancy equipments and we will just be utilizing our ESG's own laptops and own tablets. And for the Wi-Fi nga gamiton ana, we will have our load. We all have our personal load in which pwede na namo siya gamiton since dili man pud daghan ang students nga mag-submit ana in a day man siguro. So that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wait lang, padulong nako, taysa lang.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I have a question, dili ako, from someone na ako ilang speaker. This question is for both parties sa peace officer. The question is, how will you handle conflicts between people, especially if kaning duha ka tao is imong best friend or close nimo na friend and ang kalaban niya kay inyong pet peeve? And how will you ensure and stay fair and not take sides during this agreement na dili ka bias sa close friend nimo? And can you provide example na lang na naay-go both na na-solve ninyo?
Okay, so thank you for that question, Sir Lapiceros. So to answer that question is, like, I've handled so many situations na and naka-solve na ko og problems, which is problems sa akong duha ka classmates. Naasa like conflict together, and first step na akong gibuhat is nang kuan ko, like akong nag-listen ko sa both sides because that was I am running for na i-treat ang tanan tao na fair and square. So, bali, and I run to empower the student to speak up man pod. So, bali, sila duha, like, ako silang i-handle and mag-listen ko attentively sa ilang mga problems sa duha. Tapos, like, it doesn't mean na, like, friend na ko ang katong isa and pet peeve na ko ang isa. Like, dato na ko sa akong best friend. Because I run fair and square.
So, good afternoon everyone. Sa question ni Vinci, naka-experience po ko ingana nga situation, pero sila duha kay akong best friend, sila duha. So, kadto, so professionalism ang bias. So, dili ko magkuan, bias sila since both of them are my best friends. So, dili gid nako sila pilian. And I choose fairness because they both need that. Because if ever mag-bias ko, mag-away na pud sila. And if ever if ever mag-heated ang situation, I will ask for I will involve teachers or my co-officers.
Time's up.
So, hello, good afternoon everyone. Miss Palisan, ikaw kung gusto mo answer ani kay imo maning platform. So, hearing your classroom campaign in your platform, which is the secure line, in coordination with the pre-ROTC and school administrator, you mentioned in your explanation that this was implemented because the ESG and the pre-ROTC officer felt distance from the student body. How will you ensure that you, as a potential ESG officer, will be able to collaborate with other organization, which is the pre-ROTC, and how will you bridge the gap with the connection with student body.
Okay, so for the clarification for all, I didn't run to be alone. I ran to be unite and foster camaraderie. So that's why I include pre-ROTC officers and school administrators to ensure the quick response and proper investigations and a strict confidentiality. Because ang akong platform is not just like a report and forget system. It is ang concerns niya is ma-direct yun siya o kanang ma-direct yun siya o ako yung ma-solve ang mga problems because like I have this personality na I am a listener at the same time and I am a rapper. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, candidates.
Okay. Okay, can I ask one question lang for the peace officer sa Sure Party? Regarding your platform, the Fine Sheet Weekly Roving, you have stated in your platform nga to make students nga encourage sila manglimpyo during weekly roving, you added penalties, offenses, but unfortunately, I would like to ask, how does that differ from our platforms at ESG, knowing that we also have different penalties for the weekly roving? It's just that no one has exceeded the number of mistakes, which is why your platform and our platform are very similar. So what makes your platform different from ours?
Okay, so to clarify, that platform is a base platform. So kami tanan ato nag-agree na amo tong i-create na platform. So to answer your question is, wala man siya kayo'y kalahian because ang among katunga platform is gikan report sa inyo. But we want to continue and to strengthen o kung sa mga current ESG officers ang ilang na-start. So that is why we put a 250 pesos fine kasi I observe na a lot of students are not afraid of it. So bali magsalig lang sila because like magsalig bitaw sila na ay ingani wala kayo sanction, dili ta manghinlo because ako po na-observe kay isa ko ka classroom president sa grade 11 St. Gertrude and ako mga classmate is very gahing kay ulo nga mo-clean jud siya. So ako jud silang morning ako siyang gi-implement jud pod nga karon nga platform kay para pod siya mahadlok bitaw sila o para wala siya reset tapos para dili pod ma-clear ilang clearance sa mga to. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Okay, we're gonna cater a bonus question from the ESG officers.
So sa both parties, for the secretary, Lady Claire, so how will you manage your time? Sorry. How will you manage your time kay especially kay you are kanabitang ban majorette sa DLC member and I know nga ang secretary kay bugat jud na siyang role as the ESG officer and also to Rowelyn, how will you manage your time as well and what makes you different from the other party?
So thank you for that question, Atan Rose. So ang akong answer, Ana, is that ever since then, I have a passion for leading. leadership, and governance. So way back my junior high school years, I was also an ESG officer while at the same time juggling my responsibilities sa academics and at that time, DLC member na sad ko. And I can say nga through that, it has exercised and I would say tungod ato, mas nakaya na ko nga ma-manage siya kung time. Thus, kung nakaya magaling ako atong grade 8, I would say nga mas makayahan pa nako karong senior high nako. Now that I am way more mature, I am now experienced and as well as I am well equipped already for that role. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so how do I manage my time? Before, I was a secretary student since junior high up to senior high, and I've learned how to manage my time. I usually set a schedule because time management is very important, especially when you choose to be a leader. I know how to not waste my time, and I know how to use my time wisely. And in terms of like choosing between academics over my leadership, I will choose what is mostly important because I choose to be a leader. I should learn to I should have sacrifices of being a leader because I know that being a leader requires hardships and busy time, and I would like to apply time management so that I won't have to neglect my responsibilities in both academics and both in leadership. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who participated in the open forum and to our candidates for their honest and thoughtful responses. At this point, we would like to express our gratitude to the people who made today's event successful.
We will now proceed with the giving of tokens and certificate to our panelists and participants. So let me read the citation. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is proudly presented to, in recognition of their distinguished service as a panelist during the Tapatan 2026, contributing to a structured and meaningful discourse on leadership and governance held at the SMCC Quadrangle this 12th day of February 2026. Signed by our school president, Reverend Father Roniel G. Babano, STL, Felmarie Manlunas Maclidias, OSAS head, Dr. Beverly D. Haminal, Vice President of Academic Affairs and Research, and Leonarda S. Reformado, LPT, OIC Principal. This certificate is proudly presented to Miss Jocelyn M. Domingo. A round of applause, please.
May we call on the OIC of the Senior High School Department, Ms. Dan Reformado, to give the certificates and tokens. And also the current ESG Senior High School President, Rosmel B. Coraza. And COMELEC Chairwoman, Thea Jasmine Santasera. The same certificate is given to Miss Lindsay Kate C. Pizon. The same certificate and token is given to Mr. Noel R. Aguacito Jr.
Another certificate of appreciation in recognition of the party list's active participation in the Tapatan 2026, where its members presented their platform, articulated their vision for student leadership, and engaged in meaningful discourse by responding to questions from the panel and the student body, held at the SMCC Quadrangle on the 12th day of February 2026.
This certificate is proudly presented to the Sure Party. A round of applause, please.
Another certificate of appreciation in recognition of their
The same certificate is given to the Unlad Party.
Another certificate of appreciation in recognition of their unwavering support, steadfast guidance, and continued commitment to student development, which greatly contributed to the success of the Tapatan 2026 held at the SMCC Quadrangle this 12th day of February 2026. This certificate is proudly presented to the senior high school faculty. Another certificate of appreciation. This certificate is proudly presented to the Executive Student Government Senior High School Department in recognition of its exemplary leadership and steadfast commitment to promoting democratic engagement and responsible student governance during the Tapatan 2026 held at the SMCC Quadrangle this 12th day of February 2026. Another certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Bill Guerrillo and technical team. Let's give them a round of applause. Another certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to the Office of the Student Affairs and Services. Another certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to. This certificate is proudly presented to the Michaelinians Integrity Commission or COMELEC for honest, accountable, and credible student elections in recognition of their distinguished service and invaluable contribution to the successful conduct of the Tapatan 2026 held at the SMCC Quadrangle this 12th day of February 2026.
Once again, thank you very much for your valuable contributions to this event. To formally close today's Tapatan, may we call on the ESG Senior High School President, Mr. Rasmel B. Caraza, for the closing remarks. Let us all welcome him with a round of applause, please.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Student leadership is beyond garnishing a name with crowns and authority. It's not about making your name royal, but about making somewhat of a significance. Accolades and titles are easy to attain. It's the drive and the persistence that differentiates imposters to student leaders. Learn to look through the lens, magnify credentials, look beyond the names, and criticize character the way nation folk judge pageant queens. What difference can a blabbermouth with 100 credentials bring to the table if their character reeks of decay? Student leadership is not about perfection. It's not about being the skilled juggler in the room, nor is it about being the most intellectually gifted person among your peers. It's about simply being there, showing up even if you're overwhelmed, even if you're drained, and even if your feet tremble from the thought of opposing something greater to defend the people you serve. To all the ESG Senior High School candidates, I commend you for daring to carry the flame. Today, you conquered your fears, and I'm sure that you also will in the future. To the Commission on Elections, headed by Ms. Thea Santasera, thank you for being the backbone of this democratic exercise. Your commitment to fairness, order, and transparency made this process meaningful and credible. The Senior High School Tapatan has always been something I wanted to impose, not as a stage for polished speeches, but as a space for truth, accountability, and courage. It was meant to be a mirror, reflecting not only what candidates promise, but who they truly are when questioned by the people they wish to serve. As the election season comes to a close, the decision now lies in the hands of the students. May you continue the legacy of excellence and carry the drive to always go above and beyond for the Michaelinian aspiration. Choose leaders not only for what they say, but for what they stand for. Not only for their visions, but for their values. Let this be a beginning of a community that leads with conscience, serves with courage, and strives each day to become better than yesterday. For the people and for the school we call home. Thank you.
Thank you for that very wonderful and meaningful message, Rasmel.
On behalf of the COMELEC, OSAS, ESG Senior High School officers, faculty, and everyone else, thank you all for being part of this meaningful event.
May today's Tapatan guide us in choosing leaders who will truly serve with integrity, commitment, and heart. Once again, we are your hosts, Darian Reyes T. Timugan
and the Safakin Rich Mamugay. Thank you and have a wonderful afternoon, Michaelinians. Excuse me, everyone. We will still have an announcement, please. Please settle down. We will be having. There is an announcement from the COMELEC. From the ROTC.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. To all the pre-ROTC cadets, there will be a first aid training tomorrow morning. So all the grade 12 nga kadete, kay need mo attend ugma, maskin pag naay immersion. No exemption except sa athletes because this will serve your PT. PT sa second quarter. Thank you.
and sa mga pre-ROTC officers and aspirants, kay motabang daw sa aftercare. Thank you.
Everyone, dili mag-attendance is dili maglinya og tarong.